So I've just been looking at Nelly's songs, and when it comes to him, I guess I thought he was related to the Big Brother show because of the song he did with Kelly Rowland, and he talks about how, Nelly, I love you, and I think about you all the time and stuff. And I guess, although I have had a massive death wish and have been thinking about that and wanting that pretty much every day of my life, I didn't necessarily think it was to do with that, because I thought it was a bit more positive. And yeah, suicide is, or killing or dying is a sort of negative thing, and his songs are kind of more uplifting and happy. And I guess I feel a good vibe from him, so I kind of didn't think it was about that. I thought it was about Big Brother. But when they came on this October and pissed the hell out of me, because to me it felt like they were doing that just to kind of mock me and to say how, we know about you, but we're not going to help you. And that's what it felt like to me. So I'm really angry with them for doing that, and I no longer want to be on that show, and they've killed my desire to be on that show. Hence, I'm listening to that song now, and I'm just thinking, this isn't about the Big Brother show. And to be honest, it probably hasn't been ever, because I remember after like 5 years of believing that I was going to get onto that show, it didn't happen. I was really, really pissed off with them, and I stopped wanting to be on that show again for quite a few years in between, because they were making it clear they weren't interested in helping me, and I was very angry at them. But I kind of turned my attention to just trying to just accept that I'm living in hell, and just move on and accept that. But yeah, I believe that he's actually the angel of the trigger, which is the positive name. I would say that that's a positive name because part of the rapture belief is the belief that Christ is going to come, and you're going to see Jesus or see Christ, whether you think it's me or whether you think it's someone else, whatever, you're going to see Christ, see Jesus, and you're going to be raptured up. The bride is going to be raptured up to be with Jesus in heaven and be with God the Father. Now, if you think I'm the Christ, it could be code to you thinking that I'm going to be put in some sort of weird sacrifice and suffer for a long time. If you think I'm not Christ, and that's Jesus is the Christ, a lot of people believe that Jesus is going to come at the end, but they also believe that they're going to go into heaven. And they don't believe that heaven is on earth. That's why they preach. Christians preach the whole, don't love earthly things, don't love things on the earth, focus on the afterlife, and getting into heaven and paradise. It's a suicide religion. Christianity is a suicide religion for idiots who have given up on the earth and want an instant fix. Now, I know that everyone wants an instant fix, but I also know that's not possible unless, of course, you're talking about dying, going into heaven. And so the two things that I want most are death. That is what I want, and that's the thing that I want most, and therefore I feel like that is what I love. My love is for the idea of being dead and not being on earth and not having to torture people. If I didn't believe that, then why would I have lived in isolation basically for 11 years whilst I just want to die and don't leave my house, don't go anywhere? I had to see clients because I needed money. But clients was the only thing that I've ever done in the last 11 years. Seeing clients that I don't want, that's the only thing I've ever done in my whole life. And that I've done that because I don't like people. If I went to a church and told them that I was Christ, they would ask me to leave and tell me to go seek mental health doctors. That's what they would do. And therefore, anyone who worships Jesus or religion or anything, they do not worship Christ. They do not know Christ. They do not know God. They would tell God that she's mentally ill if they met God. That is the truth about all these people, and I despise them so much. And there needs to be, to fix Earth and to fix the world from overpopulation, all the rubbish, and just the two things I want most: payback, revenge, and for lots and lots of people to die, including myself. I don't give a shit if it's myself. If I have to die, good. That's fucking what I want. Like, that's the thing that I most want, actually, just to die and not live in this prison that is called Earth. And yeah, I think I don't think Nelly has anything to do with two of the reality in really. I mean, I always knew that there was a lot of songs that seemed to connect to a reality show, but I also knew there was a lot of songs that didn't. That I think he's the angel of the trigger, because there needs to be a group of people who are happy to help those who want to go to heaven. There's a lot of people that's going to want to be raptured, want to go into heaven, but they're probably not going to want to pull the trigger themselves. I know I suffer from the same disease. You know, I really, really, really want to die. And okay, you cannot get hold of guns in England, so that's definitely made it hard. But even if I did go to America, buy myself a gun, I don't know, the thought of actually pulling the trigger, I don't like it. I don't like that figure. I need someone else to help me pull that, or to pull that trigger for me, basically. And so yeah, that is the reason why in that song it says, "I love you, you know, and I need you more than you ever know," because I wanted that more than ever, for someone else to pull the trigger and kill me. And the world needs this more than ever, because if you just think about the number of, not just gangs, but there's different words for it. It's like there's areas in the world that are so dangerous that you can't go, that they charge you money. I've heard about them in Brazil, I think they were, where there's areas where if you want to drive down a street to your home, you have to pay a gang like some money to allow you safe passage through the roads. I've heard about these places, and these gangs are all over the place. Mobs, or I can't remember what the word is. It's not mobs. It's I don't know. There's a word for them, like militia, but it's not militia. It's um, I can't. Um, mafia. That's the word. There's mafia groups all over the world, unfortunately, and you know, I know that there's certain things, you know, for the rapture to be successful, it needs to be targeted at. It really needs to be targeted at the worst type of people, um, but idiots as well will fall under this. But it needs to, you know, getting into heaven via hurting the bride of Christ or Christ. I don't know if people are going to see me as lots of different things, but there needs to be loads and loads of evidence that I'm Christ. Needs to be loads and loads of evidence that we are living in some kind of matrix. You know, I find it hard to see humans as being humans, because I feel like wherever I go, there's some sort of hidden programming inside of people that make them not believe me, not interested in what I want, what I want to say, not. But at the same time, sometimes they say things that actually help me, but they don't realize what they're saying. It's very, very bizarre and very, very strange, but they can sometimes say things that will help me talk about something. So say if I'm talking in a video, I can talk about topics, and then I could remember of things that people have said. You know, I was trying to explain how stupid people are, and the day before I was trying to explain this, I happened to talk to someone who was convinced that there was 7 times more women in the world than men. So she 100% believed that for every 7 babies born, six would be women and one would be males. And you know, she was having a 10-minute conversation with someone. I didn't even want to be part of the conversation, because I was like, this is ridiculous. How could she believe this? But she said she went to doctors, and the doctors told her this, and you know, and then someone even went to go and look it up online to see if that's true, and then they came back and said Google said it's not true, and she was like, oh no, Google's wrong. You know, I was trying to make a point, and I just feel like sometimes people say weird setups, and it's just make me make a point about how some people believe they have the truth when really they don't, and you can't tell these people that they're wrong because they just don't accept it, and they spread nonsense and stuff. And I don't know, it's just sometimes I do feel I always often feel like humans are nothing but robots. That's why I feel so trapped in like I don't want to leave my house, because I'm just going to be talking to a bunch of robots. And it's hard to see humans in the same way that our humans see them, because you're interacting with them all the time, and it feels real to you, but it doesn't feel. This world doesn't feel real to me. This world feels like I'm stuck in some sort of computer, and there's a huge range of stupidity and some very more intelligent humans I probably don't ever meet, and because there's some really amazing things in the world, so that someone must have created them. So there must be some intelligent people in the world, and then you've got these very, very stupid people. And because people don't believe in reincarnation, they would see them all, everyone being the same. We're all equal, we're all the same, we all get fair chances. And it's not the truth. It's not the truth. And but some of the nice people who are smart don't see it like that, because they see, they just see what humans see, which is people being dying, living, dying, living, dying, living, and they don't realize that they are coming back. But anyway, I've done a big long rant. I think he's the angel of the trigger. I'm going to take him off as being anything to do with a reality show, because there's a lot of songs that are just casual, and I think that's the thing. If you're setting up some sort of rapture where you're convincing people that getting into heaven, you have to kill yourself, you have to also have an angel of the trigger, because people aren't going to want to kill themselves, but they might want assisted suicide, someone helping them pull a trigger, or a lethal injection. I think I'd probably go for the lethal injection, actually, to be honest, because you're asleep when it happens, so you don't feel anything. You're just on Earth 1 second, and you're in the other world the next second. So I think if I was to choose between a lethal injection or a gun trigger, I'd probably go for the lethal injection. And I'll just be really happy. I'll be very, very happy. If someone told me that they are happy to help me pass over into the next world, I would just be like, thank you, thank you. So I'd be so grateful for them. And so I feel like that is his positive, angel of the trigger should be his positive name, because he can help people go in the rapture. I think Angel of the Sniper would be his negative name, because sniping is usually about killing people that don't want to be killed. And technically, I think a lot of these people probably don't actually want to be killed, but they are very in with their Jesus and their heaven and their God in the other realm, who tells you not to love things of earth. If you spin that narrative and say, oh, the reason why it says in the Bible you're not to love things on the earth is because you're not from earth. Jesus Christ is, I'm from a different world or something, and you have to hurt me, sacrifice me, open up a door, pull the trigger, go into the other realm. This is going to be seen. I think the best way to reduce the population would be to tell people that the rapture is an amazing thing, and wow, you're so lucky, and anyone can enter into the rapture. You just need to believe that Anna is suffering for you, and you can go into heaven. And that is definitely the best way, because the idea of literally taking people off and shooting them against their will, that's pretty horrible. And I don't think anyone likes the thought of that. If it will get to that stage, I don't know. I think that will all depend on Earth and how many people, there's a bunch of people who know about this and who have been stopping people from helping me, or I don't know what the singers know. For all I know, maybe the singers know absolutely nothing, and it's just been controlled by a shadow elite above the singers. Do the singers know? Does Madonna know? I have no clue. I would say 50 Cent knows and Eminem knows, but is that the truth? I don't know. I mean, if it's only a select group of people above them, maybe there is a select group of people above them sort of pulling the strings on them and making them, and because these people are spiritually linked to me, maybe I think they know about it because I'm spiritually linking with them, and I'm thinking that they're doing it out of choice, but maybe it's out of spiritual linking or something. So I don't actually know who knows, and it really does bother me having to go 11 years not knowing this, but this is what it's like living in a computer where you link in a computer. Everything links together because it's all in a computer, and that is how I've been living for the last 11 years. I know everything is in a computer, and I'm linking to everything, but I don't know if I'm linking to everything because the robots in the computer know about me, or if the robots don't know, but someone at the top knows, because they're blocking my YouTube videos and they're watching what I'm doing, and I don't know who is doing that and who is not doing that. I'm aware that the general public who come across my videos would probably just think I'm a lunatic, and I feel like you are just robots that have been programmed to not believe me. Hence why, if you find that you can't remember the majority of stuff that I say, it's because the programming inside your head is preventing you from remembering stuff. And I know that this is happening because I'm having conversations with lots of people who literally don't remember anything the next time I talk to them. So I'm looking at them like they were just nothing but robots. But if I tried to tell them this, they wouldn't know what I'm talking about because they wouldn't remember what I've told them. Hence, it's I hate my life. I hate my life. But anyway, I'm talking to some people must be able to remember what I'm saying, and you obviously remembering it for a reason. So, but yeah, I think he's nothing to do with a reality show. He's Angel of the Sniper. He's Angel of the Trigger, and Trigger sounds like rigger. So people who are rigged up into believing that the rapture is how to be saved, e.g., being killed and going to heaven via after meeting and believing that Anna is Christ, you then must make her go through a sacrifice or allow the sacrifice to happen, and then just have faith that because you are allowing this sacrifice to happen, you can therefore enter into heaven via death. And that I think this is going to go on for 3.5 years. And then at some point it's going to be revealed that actually this wasn't the truth. I don't know if the people pulling the trigger are going to know or whatever, but that's when the angels are going to turn into their negative names, and anyone on earth who has been enjoying hurting me and hasn't gone off with the rapture, hasn't been deceived by that, well, they're going to be having to live the rest of their life knowing that God doesn't give a shit about them, and God is wanting to turn them into hamsters, which is not going to be a very pleasant experience. So they'll probably want to want to die after when they realise that. But anyway.